So today is the 1-year anniversary of Pink Tape dropping, and I just wanted to make a quick video to discuss how I felt about it when it released and how I feel about it now, because I think I have a very different perspective compared to a lot of Uzi fans, because a lot of people seem to be very upset about Pink Tape, but for me, I'm going to tell you my very first experience with it the night it dropped, because I think I have such a different experience than everyone else. But basically, that night that Pink Tape dropped, I was supposed to be working the night shift at my job, so I couldn't listen to Pink Tape on time. I would have to wait till I got off work. But then they called me during the day saying, hey, you don't have to come in anymore. Someone else came in, and it was perfect. So that means like the stars aligned. I was going to be able to listen to Pink Tape the night it dropped. So what I did was I took some mushrooms so I can connect to the music on a whole nother level, and I'm so glad I did that. I timed it perfectly. Like, I took the shrooms, and by the time like I was on my phone just refreshing, waiting for the drop, I was already tripping. And you know, the shrooms made me feel like, wow, like I'm so connected with all these people, all these Uzi fans that are simultaneously doing the same thing that I'm doing at this very moment, which is sitting on your phone, refreshing your streaming app to wait until Pink Tape come out. You know, like we were all refreshing. Like, you know, whether you're in California or Colorado or Arizona, wherever you're at, you could be like in England, whatever. It's like we were all refreshing around the world, just waiting for the tape to drop. And when the tape dropped, I remember I was on YouTube Music. I was very, very lucky to be one of the people that listened to it on YouTube Music, because that's when the Cardi song dropped instead of the Don Toliver song. But I heard Flooded the Face for the first time, and I was very happy with it. It sounded exactly like 2016, 2017 Uzi. But then as soon as he said something about Xans, I was like, oh, so this is actually from 2016/2017, because he's talking about Xans. Like, he would not talk about Xans if it was a 2023 song or a 2022 song. So I'm like, all right, well, I mean, it sounded really good. Suicide Doors, that was the song that just completely blew my mind. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is... So that song was actually in the Pink Tape trailer, right? That was when I very first heard it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. I had no idea that was going to be on the album. Like, it makes total sense that it was on the album. I had no idea it was going to be on the album. When I first heard that guitar drop, I could not fucking believe it. It sounded exactly like Playboi Carti's Rolling Loud performance. And it's like, how do you make a studio song sound like someone else's live Rolling Loud performance? It was heavy metal, fucking guitar, fucking satanic. It was so good. He was raging, and like, it really sounded it sounded so rebellious and so just powerful and evil and stuff. It was so perfect. Like, he was really playing into it, and I loved that song so much. When I heard that song for the very first time, in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, is this Uzi's best song of his career? Like, and I'm one of those fans. I love Perfect Luv Tape. I love Uzi Vert's World. I love Love Is Rage 2. Like, I was religious. I was already a religious Uzi fan before Love Is Rage 2 came out. And I remember back in the day, we were eagerly anticipating the drop of Love Is Rage 2, you know? That's how, like, I'm so intertwined in this man's music. And the fact that Suicide Doors made me say, is this Uzi's best song of his career so far? That speaks volumes, and I don't understand how so many Uzi fans can discredit his work. Like, you know, like, it's okay to have your own opinion, but in my opinion, at that very moment when I was listening to the album live for the first time, Suicide Doors, I couldn't fucking believe it. I'm like, this is Uzi's best song. I've never heard an Uzi song like this before. It was the first Uzi song of its kind. So the Travis Scott song was next, and I was not a fan of it because it was just so slow, but me being on the shrooms, I went into this with an open mind, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. I went into it with an open mind, and everyone else, they were listening to it like, oh man, I hope Pink Tape sounds exactly like how I want it to sound like, you know? But for me, I was just appreciative that Uzi was releasing a new album. So, but regardless, back to the track list. Like, I didn't really like it. I thought it was really slow. I was hoping to be good because Travis Scott was on there, but it was a slow song, and I don't know why a lot of you like it. Crush 'Em was next, and like, I actually really liked Crush 'Em, But so my critique with Crush 'Em is that it's also slow, just like, you know, A. But the reason I really liked Crush 'Em was when his vocals went really low, when he's like, crush 'em, crush 'em, crush 'em, crush 'em. It was perfect timing, perfect tempo, perfect low voice, and like, I thought it was really good. I mean, the Myron part of it, where he's like, Myron, like, that's all right. Like, I wasn't amazed by that, but I'm just glad. Like, I was just so happy to be listening to new Uzi music. Now, when Amped came on, I think Amped is the most underappreciated. Is the most underappreciated one. Like, I don't get how a lot of people like A, but not everyone likes Amped. Let me tell you why I really love Amped. Like, now, we're still on the first half of the album. Like, everything is going so amazing. It's going so amazing. Like, it's clearly like some heavy metal rock, like satanic themed album so far. And Amped brought it to the next level. And when he was like, I'm happy to play the drum. She wanna remember the blood. Give me the bone. He sounded exactly like Playboi Carti. Like, you cannot tell me that those vocals are that style of cadence. Like, you cannot tell me that wasn't, like, just straight Playboi Carti. And that's how I felt the whole first half of the album. I was like, dude, it sounded like Uzi just watched Carti's whole Rolling Loud performance and, like, tried to replicate it. Like, with the beat on Suicide Doors, and now with Amped, like, Amped was the beat on that one was really good, too. And then, but it's just, like, the vocals, too, where he's like, I'm gonna put it in a drone. Like, that's clearly a Playboi Carti type vibe, you know? That's clearly Playboi Carti. But the beat on that song, it was peak Satanism. Peak Satanism. Like, you know, Suicide Door sounded satanic, Crush 'Em sounded satanic, A sounded satanic. But Amped, it really sounded like the devil ascended from hell and stepped in the booth and just, I don't know, it really, like, when that guitar in Amped, it sounds like the devil is playing the guitar. Like, that's what I really liked about Amped. It truly sounds like you're in hell. And, like, I'm not a devil worshiper, I'm not promoting Satanism or anything, but like, Playboi Carti and Uzi in particular, you know, they've been being accused of being Satanists and devil worshippers, like, ever since 2017. And, like, but they play into it, and I think it really is part of the art. It's like watching a crime movie or a horror movie, you know? Like, just because you like watching horror movies, like, that doesn't mean that you're a fucking serial killer. Just because you like watching crime movies doesn't mean you're a criminal, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because these people make satanic style music, like, it doesn't make us as audience, doesn't make us, like, Satanists, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we're just enjoying the art. Like, imagine a painter painting a fire, and you, like, appreciating the artwork for what it is. It's like, that doesn't make you evil because you like a painting of a fire, you know what I'm saying? And it goes with Uzi and Carti. It's like, just because you like music that sounds satanic, it doesn't mean that you're evil. It doesn't mean you're satanic. But I just love how, like, he really was embracing that satanic sound. And I really love that, like, that first, you know, couple tracks on the album. And X2, when I first heard X2 and I was like, Uzi made this exactly for me. Like, the Uzi that I like is, like, the video game style Uzi with the melodies and the beep boop boop bop, like the Erase Your Social type shit, the You're Lost type shit, I Can Drive type shit. Like, I love the video game melodic Uzi, and when I heard X2 like that, I was like, wow. Like, Uzi's really giving us the music that we want. Like, I really loved X2. I loved X2 so much. And my favorite was when he's like, well, like, I like the part where he's like, dumb as a me, that shit was a trick. Like, when he goes down like that, like, it was so fire. And my favorite part was like, when it's like, I don't like no dairy, but I get the cake. Like, when he says dairy like that, like a fucking, like a low pitch, like, ghost farmer ass, like, hillbilly, like, it sounds so good. But, like, the reason that I really love that part is because, like, you can't really tell me, like, too many songs where Uzi does that type of cadence. And when Uzi does new vocals like that, like, whenever he, like, gives us new vocals like that, it is so interesting. It is new, it's fresh, and I really Like, he gave us an Uzi vocal that we have not heard yet. It's a new and improved Uzi. It's like Pikachu was, Love is Rage 2, and then all of a sudden, once he said Dairy on X2, it was like Raichu, or whatever the evolved version of that Pokemon is, It sounded like an evolved Uzi. It sounded like Uzi 2.0, It sounded like, it's just amazing. Like, X2 was fucking incredible. And I'm just so glad that Uzi made that song, and I'm so glad that he shared it with us. And then Died and Came Back was next. I like Died and Came Back. It was very good. It's not one of those songs that I have, revisited, but I love Died and Came Back too, because I love the part where he's like, Montclair Army since Love is Rage 2. When I made the first Love is Rage, it was Canadian Goose. Like, that guy, he is crazy. It's crazy. Like, that was such a fire line, bro. Are you kidding me? Like, it was so good. But my favorite line on that song was like, he shouted me out. So you got to keep in mind, like, I was on shrooms when I was listening to this whole entire thing. And up until this point, I was like, dude, like, Uzi made this album for me. Like, one of the lines was like, I'm never faking, I dress like I'm Asian. And I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out because he literally shouted me out, like, on that line. Like, he literally made he made that for me, bro. And then what was after Died and Came Back? Oh, I believe it was Spin Again. Spin Again was good. The Ice Spice bar was good. Only critique I have is that it was too short. But I really do I did like that one. I liked, the next one was I Gotta. And, like, I know a lot of you guys like I Gotta. However, like, for me, I think out of all the 2020 snippets that he could have picked, I'm very upset that he chose that one. And, like, maybe you guys like that, that trumpet military type, feeling. But, like, for me, like I said earlier, the reason I like X2 a lot is because I'm the Uzi fan that likes the video game melodic type Uzi. So, like, I Got It was good. I didn't skip it or anything. Endless Fashion. Now, let me tell you, so I was tripping on shrooms this whole album, right? And so those first 9 songs, I was jumping, sweating, I was screaming, I was raging. And then when Endless Fashion came on, I don't know why, but it was so good. And Nicki Minaj on it. As soon as Nicki Minaj's verse came on, there was one part where he's like something like that, and, like, she sounded like an angel. She sounded like an angel that descended from heaven and stepped behind the booth to give us some art. That's what it sounded like to me. And I started crying so fucking hard. Uzi wasn't even, like, singing. It was Nicki Minaj's vocals that made me cry so hard. And I will just tell you right off the bat right now, from this point on, from Endless Fashion onwards, I'm crying like a baby the whole entire album. The whole entire fucking album. So she's doing all this and that, and then, like, they're switching off, and it's so good. And then, they're talking all about this, all about the fashion brands and stuff. And, like, if you guys have seen any of my Reddit posts or anything, like, you'll know that, like, I do buy a lot of, like, the brand name stuff, the brand name designer stuff, solely because of Lil Uzi Vert. Like, not even any other artist. Like, not even, like, oh, this artist, that. It's only Lil Uzi Vert, and, Playboy Cardi, I guess. And I like Juice WRLD too. But, like, I buy all these clothes because of Lil Uzi Vert. And then, at the end of Uzi's line where he's like, we wore that V long till it turned fake. So when he first said that, I thought he said, we wore that V long till it turned fake. I thought that was like he was shouting me out again because I wear the fake V long. So you could see, like, I'm tripping on shrooms this whole time, and, like, listening to all of these lines apply to me, like, I'm freaking out because, like, I really truly was convinced that Uzi made this album for me. Like, he made it with me in mind. Like, he made it thinking, like, oh man, I'm gonna blow this guy's mind. I'm gonna say whatever it is to blow this guy's mind. Like, and that's literally what he did. And when Nicki Minaj and Uzi were both singing on Endless Fashion, I was like, oh no. I think there was one line that Nicki Minaj says, like, you are just like us too, or something like that. We are on the tick 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 too. And, like, the way I interpreted that when I first listened to it was like, like Nicki and Uzi are singing to us as an audience, and they're speaking directly to us as an audience. And Nicki was saying like, we are just like you, you are just like me, we are the same type thing. And I don't, like, that was probably the shrooms, but like, I really felt like that's what Nicki was saying when she was like, we on the too, because like she's pretty much saying like, all of us, we're all just on social media the whole fucking time. And like what she was saying is like, she's on TikTok too, like, you know, like they're doing the social media shit too. And like, I don't know, it really felt like what they were, the message behind it was like, you know, like, you guys are all looking up to us because we're celebrities and we're famous and we're making this music and all that, but in true reality, like, we are the same. Like, I'm just like you and you're just like me. And let me tell you, the line, my favorite fucking line was when Uzi said, I'm the reason these kids wear them Go-Yard bags. As soon as he said that at the end of Endless Fashion, I was screaming and crying, and I was pointing at my Go-Yard bag like this. I was screaming and crying at my Go-Yard bag as soon as I was like, ah, ah! Like, I was literally doing that, tears running down my face, snot dripping out of my nose, and I was pointing at my Go-Yard bag like, like, not this one, like, this is a new Go-Yard bag that I got. I have a yellow one in my room that I was pointing at, screaming at. He's like, I'm the reason why these kids wear them Go-Yard bags. I was freaking out. And that was right after he said the line where he said, we would have V-Loan till it turned fake. And then like, in my head, he's saying the words V-Loan, fake. I'm the reason these kids wear them Go-Yard bags. Everything that he was saying applied directly to me. And that is the reason why I really felt like he made that album exactly for me. Like it's as if he knew me. It was I don't even know. It's like maybe he stumbled upon my Reddit post where I was showing off the Go-Yard bags or whatever. But like, I really felt like he made it with me in mind. Like, I'm the reason they wear them Go-Yard bags, and like, just the fact that like I have the Go-Yard bags. And it's so true. It's like, the only reason I have these Go-Yard bags is because of Lil Uzi Vert. No other artist. No other fucking artist. It's only because of Lil Uzi Vert that I have these Go-Yard bags. But, so that was Endless Fashion. And then, what was after Endless Fashion? It was, I want to say it was Nakamura. Whatever it was like, that, I consider Endless Fashion, like, that was the first half of the album. And then it turned to the second half of the album, which I think was like, I don't know if it was All Alone, Pluto to Mars. No, it wasn't Pluto to Mars, but like, it was Nakamura. But I remember like the second half of the album, and I think this, you guys might think this is crazy too, but like, yeah, second half of the album, this, that, Nakamura. I didn't really like Nakamura. Just Wanna Rock, we already knew what that was. Now, when CS first came on, I didn't even know CS was a song already. And maybe the fact that it was already a song, maybe that's why everyone hated it. But when I first heard CS, I didn't know it was a song, so I thought it was an original Uzi song. Like, I thought like all like the instrumentals and like the yelling, like, and the makeup, like, I thought that was all Uzi came up with that. And when I first heard that song, I fucking loved that song, because like, I was like, wow, like, ever since 2016, Uzi's been talking about him being a rock star, you know, like, rock star this, rock star that. And when I heard him finally, like, it was a pure, like, heavy metal fucking rock star fucking song, where it's like actually guitars and actually him like and he's talking about angels deserve to die. Like, he was genuinely screaming that, like, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, dude, this guy has for many years he's been talking about being a rock star, and here he is actually finally being a rock star. I was crying and crying and crying when I first heard CS. And when he said, I don't think you trust myself right to suicide, I was like, damn, bro, Uzi means that, because like, really, he can choose to end it whenever he wants, and like, all these fans are just being so ungrateful. Like, he's just producing the finest art, the finest modern day art, and his fans are just, they're giving him nothing but hate. So I thought Uzi, when he said, I don't think they trust in myself right to suicide, I thought he meant like, yeah, all these people are hating, but they're gonna miss me when I'm gone, because like, at the end of the day, they're on my D because of my music, you know? So that's what I thought. But like, I thought he did such a good job. And like, with the screaming, angels deserve to die. I was crying because I was like, you know, the rock star that he's always wanted to be, he is, you know, the rock star he's always wanted to be, he actually is. And then, you know, Werewolf came on, and like, and keep in mind, like, when you're on shrooms, it's like you're in the music, and like that was just like amazing. Like Werewolf, like it added to it. Like if you view Pink Tape as a whole experience, it added to it. Like that's the problem, is like I think a lot of the fans, they saw Pink Tape as like, all right, let me dig through, let's see what I can add to the playlist, let's see what songs are good. But for me, like I listened to it, I went into it as an experience, saying like, all right, well, this is I'm an Uzi Vert fan, and he hasn't uploaded anything in such a long time. I cannot wait to listen to his music. All right, I'm just gonna back up here. I'm gonna listen to his music. I can't wait. You know, I went into it with an open mind, and I'm so glad I did that, because it allowed me to enjoy every single song for what it actually was, instead of it being like, oh, I hate the song because it's a cover of a song, or it's like, oh, I hate the song because Brandon produced it. You know, it's like I went into it and I enjoyed it. So Werewolf was really good, and like this is a whole rock album at this point, you know, like, and as an experience, I was able to appreciate the fact that Uzi gave us something so special. He gave us something so fucking special, and no one even fucking realizes it. And then, you know, it was all that Werewolf and stuff, and like all these rock songs, you know, now you're just like thinking, oh man, it's all rock, this, that. And then all of a sudden, out of no, like, I'm crying, keep in mind, like I'm crying, and then all of a sudden, you just hear, I done came up with 100 grand large. And as soon as I heard that, and like I knew I would replay the 2020 live all the time. I knew what Pluto to Mars was, and when I first heard that in HD, like all of a sudden, all like my eyebrows were like this because I was crying, you know, tears running down. And as soon as I heard that, biggest smile on my face, tear go right back up into the eyes, and then I'm literally shoulder rolling Uzi, like, because like he's singing Pluto to Mars, and it's just so cheerful, and I'm like, and like I thought the transition from Werewolf to Pluto to Mars was fucking excellent. Like the fact that, like, you know, the first half of the album, it's just we're raging, it's Satanism raging, and like the next half of the album was just, it slowly transitions to rock, and then like now it's straight heavy metal rock star Uzi, and then like now you're all in the rock star zone, and then all of a sudden I came up with, and I felt like that was such a shout out. Like Uzi was shouting us out, like, hey, yeah, you thought I was gonna give you a rock album? Boom. Gives you a song that you already know from the snippet, and it's like the classic Uzi, the classic video game melodic Uzi that you like, you know. And it's like he puts that right after Werewolf as like, gotcha, you thought it was gonna be a rock album for the rest of the album, gotcha, it was Pluto to Mars. And it's like, I know that's what you wanted to hear. I was very happy with Pluto to Mars. And then after the Pluto Mars came on, I knew it was Patience. It said it was going to be Patience with Don Toliver. And this is why I say I am so lucky that I heard it on YouTube Music, because when it first released, YouTube Music accidentally kept the Cardi song. So it was a Cardi song, not the Don Toliver song. And all of a sudden I hear and like, and as soon as I heard Cardi's voice, like, I was so confused, because like me personally, I've never listened to a Don Toliver song. I never clicked on Don Toliver, so I don't know like what he's supposed to sound like. So when I heard him, I was like, dude, this guy sounds exactly like Playboy Cardi. It's insane. So like I was thinking like him putting Don Toliver on there and like having it sound exactly like Cardi, I was like, is this like some type of Mario Judah type shit where it's like he couldn't get the real Cardi on there, so he got like the Mario Judah like Walmart version of Cardi, you know? But, you know, after doing research, after I heard the album, I realized it was a Playboy Cardi song that they just left on there. But I'm so glad that my very first listen of Pink Tape was with the Cardi song instead of the Don Toliver song, because the Don Toliver song, the way it completely, like that point of the album completely just changes what the album is. Like if you were to break the album in thirds, I would say the version that everyone else with the Don Toliver, it starts off with the Satanism, the go hard Satanism, and then the next third is like the rock star heavy metal Uzi, and then the third is like the slow motion dazing off Uzi, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what Patience is. It's a dazing off song. But for me, it's like when you put that Cardi song in there, when it's like all hype and bubbly, it's like the first third is the Satanism shit, and then the second third is the rock star heavy metal shit, and then the third is like, goes right back to the Uzi that you love, and it's like Pluto de Mars, perfect. And then the transition from Pluto de Mars to the Cardi song, absolutely perfect, because they're two bubbly songs, and it's like these are two songs that like they represent for me what I love about Lil Uzi Vert. Like Pluto de Mars is like the bubbly video game melodies, and then right after that you give me a bubbly video game melody with baby voice Cardi featuring like Uzi and Cardi, like the greatest duo of all time. It's like, it was incredible. And then, you know, obviously then you have Rehab and Days Come and Go in the end and stuff, and like a lot of you guys like Rehab and Days Come and Go. For me, it was just whatever. I don't revisit those two, but I'm not gonna say it was a bad song. Like, it was good songs, but like for me, I just don't like lyrical type shit. Like I don't like when they tell stories and shit, like, because I just think like music is sound, man. Like, and I remember like way back when like mumble rap was like, when like people were shitting on it, because like if you didn't listen to like Eminem or like J. Cole or Kendrick or anything, and instead you listened to like Future, then you were like some dumb dude, you know, because they're not talking about any lyrics or anything. But like, I don't think music is about the lyrics, and I think in 2024, like, I think a lot of people realize that like it's really not about what you say, it's about the sound. It's about the sound of the beat. It's about the sound of your voice. It's about the cadence. It's about how you're pronouncing it. It's about your flow. It's about your melodies. Like, that's what I think. I don't think it has shit to do with the words. Like, if words mattered, then Playboy Cardi wouldn't be big. You know, it was like, he's literally like, Papa, yeah, yeah. Like, bro, the reason that we love that is because his voice on that and the beat is so entertaining. Like, the sound is pleasing to the ear. That's why we like listen to it. We don't like listen to it because, we gotta learn about some shit. Like, no. It's like, we love the beat, we love the cadence, we love the creativity in his voice when he's like, like, I love it. And I think, like, I love it. And then the end, I love the end because, like, I love when the Japanese girls are like, love is all we need. And it's so true. Like, it's so fucking true. Like, the way I can describe the end is, like, I really feel like it's like the Gen Z anthem. You know, like, the Gen Z anthem. Like, this is the modern world in which we live with technology, and it's all robotic and technical. And, like, when I first heard the end, so I've never really smoked nicotine like that, but I would have, like, that when the hard ass beat in the end where it's like dum dum ba-dum ba-dum, like, that's what I envision, like, a nicotine rush in your head is like, dun dun dun, like that. Like, the way I describe how it sounds, how the end sounds, is like, I would imagine that's what a nicotine hit feels like. But like, my favorite part was when they're like, love is all we need, and that was part of the Pink Tape trailer too, at the end. And like, I just love that part. It sounds so good. It sounds so fucking good. Like, and yeah, and like I think when they say love is all we need, it kind of reminds me of like the 1960s, 1970s when everyone was tripping on acid, you know, like, and it was like really the love and peace movement. And I think like today in the 2024, like, I feel like the 2020s are just like, you know, I think when we look back at this time in 2050, 2060, I think it's like gonna be like the 2020s will be like the modern 70s. You know, like, we will look back at the time these kids are like smoking dab pens, and like, you know, obviously you got the dark shit like the fake pills and stuff, but like, I think we'll look back at this time like, oh yeah, those kids, they were all smoking dab pens and eating shrooms, or, you know, stuff like that. I don't fucking know, but that's what I think. And I'm not gonna go over Zoom, of course, and Shark. Like, those are the bonus tracks, and we've already heard Zoom, and of course, for years. Like, we've been hearing that ever since 2018, really. Okay, I remember when, of course, first leaked in November of 2018, Strapped exclusive, you know. But that's my review of Pink Tape. It's like, that's the reason why I enjoyed it so much, is because I went into it thinking that it's an experience. Like, everyone else went into it like with a critiquing mindset, like, all right, let's see if this is good. Let's see if this is good. But for me, I went into it thinking like, oh boy, my favorite artist, Lil Uzi Vert, just made a new album. I cannot wait to listen to it. And you sit there, it's like, and you just listen to it. Like, I think, and you know, it might have been the shrooms, but like, I remember when I very first listened to Love Is Rage 2 as well on release night in 2017. Right after I was done listening to Love Is Rage 2, I said it was a perfect 10 out of 10 with no skips. And now in 2024, it still is a perfect 10 out of 10 with no skips. Can I say the same thing about Pink Tape? Like, no, because I only have a couple that I, take back. I only play a couple. Like, I play Suicide Doors, I play X2, and I play Fire Alarm. Oh, I forgot to talk about Fire Alarm. I love Fire Alarm. And like, those are really the only songs that like I took from, Pink Tape, and like the rest I've been listening to nothing but unreleased Uzi leaks. But as an experience, if you see Pink Tape not as an album but as an experience, the Pink Tape experience, when I listened to it the first time, it was probably the best music experience I've ever had in my life. So that's why I think like, Pink Tape is really up there for me. And I genuinely think like it is the most overhated thing, and the hate is not justified. Like, that's what I really think. Like, the hate that Uzi receives for Pink Tape is not justified at all. Like, I think it's an incredible work of art, and like, if you were to narrow it down to the best 10 tracks, best 11 tracks, like, you could put it right next to the Perfect Luv Tape or Uzi Verse World 1. And like, you could be like, all right, like, Pink Tape is the way. It's like, a lot of you hate Pink Tape because like there's a lot of songs that you don't like, but in reality, it's like, it's 30 songs, man. It's like, he's making it for much different people. Like, I like songs that you probably hate, and you like songs that I hate, you know what I'm saying? So and it's like, the fact that you ask every person you ask like what their favorite Pink Tape song is, everyone has a different answer, and I think that's what makes it so good. It's like everyone has a different, and it's very different, So Uzi, I think he did such an incredible job with it. And like, 1 year Pink Tape later, I just think it's so good. Pink Tape was so good. So thank you so much, Lil Uzi Vert. I don't, no one's probably gonna see this. I'm gonna post this on Reddit probably, but like, yeah, that's all I can say. Like, Uzi did such an amazing job. Thank you so much, Lil Uzi Vert, for, just giving me the greatest experiences of my life. Like, I'm 24 right now, but like, when I'm 70 years old, I'm still going to be listening to Love Is Rage 2. I'm still going to be listening to Pink Tape, and I'm going to be reminiscing on these days. And I'm going to be reminiscing on the day that I listened to Pink Tape for the first time. And I was just crying and snot dripping all over my fucking mustache, all over my fucking beard, just snot everywhere. It's like, yeah, I love you, Lil Uzi Vert. I seriously, genuinely love you, Lil Uzi Vert. Thank you for just making my life so fun. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I had to say. Thank you. And yeah.